Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Avengers Back to Basics, issue number 2. This is a digital only until they release it in trade, which they should really take a while to release it in trade, just so that more people will go and get this on digital. Seriously, this is really good. So, Fenris Wolf is, oh, by the way, not so many spoilers this week. It was kind of hinted that I gave away a little bit too much in the last one. But the first one's always free. The next ones you have to buy. You always get the taste for free. Look, anyway, the idea here is that the Fenris Wolf is on Earth right now. He's on Midgard. And because the eclipse just happened, well, if the eclipse goes away, if the sun comes back out, that's it. It's too late. He's permanently on the earth now, and Ragnarok proper can begin. The Jormungandr serpent will arise and go and eat up on Thor and just, all sorts of, hell with one L on Earth. So basically, Tony has to try and figure out how to beat these guys. Now, he's not quite smart enough to figure out how to beat these guys, but Pepper is locked up. She's got chains all around her, and Gleipnir, I think that's the proper pronunciation of it, is the ribbon made of the 6 different things, like the breath of a fish and all that stuff, that's supposed to keep the Fenris Wolf originally locked down, right? Well, unfortunately, Tony Stark was able to find another way to get that thing free, and it was pretty impressive. And the response from the ghosts, you got to remember, this is supposed to be a very funny comic book, all right? Pretty serious, but at the same time, a lot of humor in this. This is great. This is a Peter David stint, all right? And Peter David, it's funny, he wrote my favorite version of the Hulk, all right? We're talking about the Gray Hulk, Mr. Fix-It and all that stuff. Just my absolute favorite version, and I loved it. And now we got a funnier version. He's a lot stronger, whatever, but he does some pretty funny stuff in this also. The way that he beats the Fenris Wolf is interesting. Let's just say it involves the Hulk being reborn via cesarean. Wow. Wow. And he owes Loki for the cleaning. So this is wicked, all right? There's a lot of wicked stuff happening here. Who Saves the Day is pretty impressive. I'm going to give you a hint. It's not Thor. So I enjoyed this. I really did enjoy this. I honestly think that you guys are going to enjoy this too. This is such... It gets serious when it needs to, and then when it starts to get a little bit too serious, it's like, oh, by the way, here's some slapstick humor. It's not quite slapstick, but it's like a perfectly placed joke that just gets you, it reminds you where you are. What do you call it? There's also a lot of good history in here. Honestly, like the worst thing about this comic book is that the ribbon that kept the Fenris Wolf down, Fenrir, that was actually just used in the Mighty Thor issue number 705, which was just released this week also. So it's like, okay, that seems to be a common theme this week. Not a big deal, just a observation. But at the end of this, mind you, all of this is Kamala Khan looking at this stuff in the past as though she were there, even though she's technically not. Someone shows up at the end, and we only get to see the shadow. We only get to see the outline of the silhouette. So I'm curious who this person is. Maybe it's Iron Man. Maybe it's something worse. Either way, next issue is going to be something different, and it looks like it's going to involve the secret invasion. I actually always like a reminder of the secret invasion, the Skrull attack, because there's so many stories that can come out of there. Occupy Avengers just had a really good one not too long ago, right before it's canceled of all things. But regardless, it was... yeah, it's looking good. And we're going to have Iron Man again. We're going to have Captain America. Yay! And Captain Marvel. That makes a lot of sense since it's Miss Marvel who's actually watching this stuff. So anyway, this is pretty good. I'm going to give this an A-. I'm enjoying this comic book. The art is... it's funny. It's cartoonish, but it's still really good. The design is fantastic. You can't look at this and say, oh, this is cheap. Because any little thing, you could look at for detail in it. It's like, no, this is actually really good. What's more, there is the chance to make something scary out of this also. Like the Fenris Wolf, man, he's a little freaky in this. I'm just saying. And for it to be a cartoon is like doubly freakish. So, is what it is. All right, guys. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.